Okay, howdy everybody. Hopefully everything is working. Hopefully you guys can hear me and all that jazz. I had to reset up, I've had to set up new stuff with the new tablet. Welcome to the 10 More Minutes art stream with me, Sam. For those that are new, I also got the scrolling thing working. Wait, what? Where's the jar? Oh no, the jar! Hold on. I was having to set up new stuff. So, hold on. The jar, are you coming back? There we go. There's the jar. There's everything. So I had to set up a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, Blue Wolf. I have no idea why you're getting a black screen, man. Because it seems like it's working for everybody else. Try a different browser. Try, instead of using maybe Chrome, switch over to Firefox or something like that, or use Explorer. See if that's maybe the issue, because I don't know why it's doing that. Also, hey Nick, glad you could kind of pop in for a second. But I had to set up a bunch of different HUD parts. So a lot of stuff is kind of all over the place, because I was readjusting the HUD. I went from a, oh, on your phone? That's weird. I don't know why I would do that, man. Try viewing it through a browser on your phone, then. Yeah. Chris can't draw. I do all the art for the channel. Chris is the personality. I'm the sarcastic, laid-back one. Well, no, that's Mike. Who am I? I'm the guy that draws. Yeah, but no, I do all the art for the channel. Draco Fox. Hey Metamorpho. Hey Metamorph. Dude, hey Chamba. Thanks, man. I've been working on this piece for a while. It's covered by trees at the moment. But yeah, this piece has turned out rad. I still have a bunch to do with it and kind of figure it out and how it's going up and whatnot. But so far, it's working pretty well. Yeah, Screeby is still watching this guy, so we're going to have to go ahead and illustrate that at some point. And honestly, after getting this new tablet, I'm still not really sure what I want to do with this piece. Like, I'm going to add the blizzard and stuff like that. But it's been so long. It's been like 3 weeks since... Oh, Draco, gotcha. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been able to do this, because I was out of commission for 2 weeks when my old Cintiq 21UX may rest in peace in the corner of my room, taking up stupid space because it cannot be repaired, according to Wacom. So now I'm working on a new 22, which is nice, but it took about like a week and a half to get in, so it's been a while. Yeah, thanks. So this is a commission from my buddy Azael, who played Final Fantasy XIV with me for a long time and wanted a commission of his character. So I'm just, wrapping it up. There's not too much left in this piece. It's mostly just environmental stuff, and then we're going to kind of spruce in some of the trees that I kind of went ahead and plopped around. Oh yeah, man, my layers are crazy. I have so much stuff. There's probably like 300 layers or something like that. Every time I start a new piece, I'm like, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna keep it chill. I'm gonna have a good time. Oh man, what did I do? I added 5 characters. And now I want all these background elements. And then I want the characters interacting and all this other garbage. So my biggest problem is whenever I start illustrations, they're always like week-long events because of that. So I gotta figure out what I'm even gonna do. But I kinda wanna get this done, because this commission's been around for like months now at this point. And hopefully I had to rearrange stuff, because originally the old setup for my old Cintiq was a 1600 by 1200. So this is now, in 1920 1080p style, so you guys aren't going to see all the crazy layers. I mean, if I moved it around, you would end up seeing the layers like last time, which it just goes on and on and on and on and on. There's just... Usually these illustrations have like 300 layers plus or something like that. But, let's see, I think I just need to start working on the background stuff. So, I'm going to kind of toggle off some of these characters and kind of see, oh yeah, no, if you want to, Draco, there is a series of videos on the channel for the Twitch stuff. This is our part 11, I think. This is part 11 of the other 10 parts. So if you want to go watch and see how it was previously done, you can check that out. There's also all the speed paints that I do for the Patreons, supporters. So we usually dole out like 1 or 2 of those a month. It kind of just depends on how many we get and how many we have in stock. And usually it's usually on a back burner. Bumblebee, yeah. The Bumblebee is a mixture between the Adventure Time bee and the Scree, like ancient serpent from Final Fantasy XIV. So yeah, the Scree bee is always watching. When I was designing what was it? What did you guys call it? You called it Muck? I can't remember the weird nicknames you gave us based on like the dumb faces I drew a while back. So let's toggle off some of those characters. And I designed these trees last time, so I'm gonna kind of start throwing them in to the background. Hopefully my computer will not lag too much. Eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade the RAM for this thing. But I created these trees last time, so we can kind of throw them into the background and go all some, Kree, and Muck. That's right, I forgot about that. Alright, man. Hopefully you figure out Blue Wolf. I don't know what the issue is, but hopefully you figure it out soon. But yeah, this is a super stream. For those of you that are new, this is just an art stream, so it's a lot chiller than like when we're playing Breath of the Wild or doing Death Road to Canada. This is more like you come and go. If you got art questions, occasionally I will look at the chat. Sometimes I get in a focus or in a groove and get in my teacher mode where I just keep on talking. But ask me questions if you have questions about art. That's what this is about. If you have just regular questions for me, you can do that as well. I don't really have... I can kind of talk and work. You know, you teach for so long, you just kind of get used to it after a certain point. I'm not sure where I want to put these trees yet. I feel like Bob Ross. I'm trying to find where I put the happy trees at. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make this into a group and then duplicate it so I don't accidentally lose that and have to open up the other Photoshop file. But it's been nice working on this new tablet. I've finally been able to get a lot of work done. I'm working on some storyboards. Got a bunch of those couchlings done, did a couple of commissions. So I felt it was the right time to kind of get back into this. I'm trying to remember where I was even going to put these trees, because like I said, this was like 3 weeks ago. I think... So that's foreground 2. Well, I have one of those trees right there, so let's go ahead and throw a couple of those into the background. Make them kind of teeny tiny. Be bold with your trees, yeah, but he's really good. He could do it with just a brush stroke. Me, on the other hand, I had to pre-create these things. Which I got this tip from an art buddy of mine who does a lot of children's storybooks. And he just kind of keyed me onto like this smart idea. It's like, yeah, I just pre-render a bunch of stuff so I can kind of, you know, paint over it and retoggle it for later. Which at first I was kind of adherent to, but I was like, you know what, that's actually a good idea, especially if it's just a basic thing like you're just adding background elements and whatnot. And like, I want to add trees, but I don't have time to paint like a bunch of like unique trees to the background. There's just not enough time to get that kind of level of detail. So ideally what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple of these, but then I'll add some filter stuff onto it, just so it gives a little bit of extra depth to the piece. You know, just like kind of a CG artist would, like when they're doing rendering and stuff, they would just throw in like, they don't make a ton of different trees for even a game like Final Fantasy XIV. They probably have like 2, maybe 3 versions, and then they just kind of replicate them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just copy paste it. Some people treat that as a bad thing, but honestly, you gotta take whatever shortcuts you can sometimes. Alright. Other than that, though, I've been trying to catch up on a bunch of different old shows. Like, I've been watching a lot of the new DuckTales. They did a really good job with Darkwing Duck in that new modern take. I was pleasantly surprised by that. So I was checking that out. I'm trying to finish Star Wars Rebels. I think I'm like 3 episodes away from finishing that. Because my friend's been bothering me. He's like, you gotta finish Clone Wars, you gotta finish Rebels. What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, I'm busy with other stuff. Despite everything that's going on, I'm always working on some kind of project. Whether it's for you guys as couchlings, or it's just for like personal stuff, slash like, you know, portfolio stuff, like the current boards that I'm working on for like it's like a noir thing. So I was working on like the different background shots for it the other day. You know, just some quick storyboards in the like I've already done all the beats, but I had to go ahead and like kind of break down like the actual areas where the stuff is going to take place. Try to keep it quick, try to keep it loose. It's not supposed to be like super in depth for this kind of stuff. And eventually I'll share that with you guys too. I should be able to finish that by... I just gotta put the characters in, because I already did all the beats, and I already did all the roughs for the storyboards. I just gotta go ahead and just kind of throw in the more refined characters and put that in there, because my portfolio has just been lacking storyboard work. And I think that's one of the things, from what I hear from a bunch of people, is like that's one of the things that's preventing me from getting more work in animation. Which is something that I'd like to do. I haven't got to work in animation in a while. You know, other than my own personal stuff. You just get paid to do it a bit more, you know? Let's put that to multiply. Go ahead and erase some of that. And kind of the trick with this is you're gonna have some of them a little bit lighter and some of them a little bit darker, but then once you kind of get like a decent blend to them, I'll probably flatten them. But I want one of them, I want them to be like in different stages and tiers, so they kind of show some atmospheric depth going on with it. So I'll have at least one be a little bit darker and one be a little bit lighter, just to kind of give a little bit of that approach, not reproach. Approach will be different. Let's go ahead. Ooh, that's not right. Ooh, you're way off. Okay, let's go ahead and clean you up. That's better. Let's see. Duplicates. I still want to keep that cool feel to it as well. I'll put this one in the back. That should work. That's one that I don't want, so I don't want that pixelization that happens. And through like a couple different filters and stuff like that, by going through, this is going to give a decent amount of depth to this piece. I'm just going to have to find a way to implement them in. Oh, is the music really loud still? Okay, let me go ahead and lower that then. Every time it seems like it readjusts all that stuff. So let me know, Blue. Yeah, lower the music. Oh, hey, Twahili. Yeah, that's super weird. Every single time I kind of come in here, it like throws the volume at super high. I don't really know why it does that. It's freaking weird. Like every single time I have to kind of reset it, and I'm not sure particularly why it does that. I'm not sure it's because me and Chris, you know, both stream, so maybe it's like occasionally pulling his settings, which isn't his fault. But I think that's one of the issues with it. Okay. That's a good amount of forest. So let's go ahead. Can I duplicate this? And let's... Perfect. Okay. Close that. If I zoom in, yeah, it still does that pixelization around those areas, which is the exact opposite of what I want, but I want to keep it. Well, I'll just have to leave it as a single group then. Okay, dragon's here. If I put it behind, no. How about here? Let's toggle that off. Okay, so it disappears. There we go. That's what I can do. I'm gonna have to go ahead. Is that? This is part of the dragon. I'm going to have to erase this because I no longer need this tree. I'm not gonna permanently erase it, but I'm gonna do a little mask layer because these trees just look way better than that original concept that I had. Okay, and then throw some trees over here. Bring that over. I'll remove a couple. I like that one. Let's bring that up. And then I'll just want to do a little bit of a kind of erase, and I can kind of make the mask a little bit big. And sorry sometimes if I forget about chat. That kind of occasionally happens. I'm bad about that. And I'll look every now and then. You go to smash. You need a Corgo. You need big Corgo to smash them. The big Corgo to smash them. Yeah, maybe. Oh, thanks for the cheer, Twahili. I'm still trying to figure out the credits, guys. So I'm still not entirely sure how to do that stuff. I'm gonna try and see if I can get it to make it work this time. But I'm not really sure. I figured out how to do the music so it shows you exactly which song is playing, but the weird thing about VLC is it doesn't let me customize how it spells out the track, so just know that it's Rocco W is the artist, who is rad, and the song was called Credits. But I managed to figure that out before the stream today, so that was nice. Ooh. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of plug away on this. I think that mountainside's pretty good. I might want to add some trees around here in the front. Alright, where else? You're all the way up here. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that and delete that. I might want to just make these into a flat layer in a second. I'm not sure. Still trying to figure that out, but just like everything, if you guys have been watching, those of you that have been around for the previous streams, this is just a lot of what it is. It's just kind of going back and forth, deciding what looks good, what doesn't. I love the way those trees are looking though. That looks really rad. I'm gonna have to use this technique more often than I have in the past. I don't need you as much. Oh, nope. Nope. Give me the other one. Oh, that's why it's not black and white anymore. Nice. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and do that. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Can be anything, too. Anything that gives me a topic for me to rant on is usually pretty good too. Alright. Oop, not that. Not that either. There we go. Alright. Background, foreground. Ooh, that's why it's getting that shadow. I need you to be right above there then. Or is that something else that's doing that? Show me what's wrong. Oh, it's that. Okay. So that's why it's not all consistently one color. Huh. How can I change that? Oh, that's why. Alright, I can fix that. How is adult beverage? I need to work on that. I forgot that I like that. Oh, I like that custom mode. Bunny me. It's pretty good. I forgot about adult beverage. Thank you for reminding me, Blue. There's a couple things for the channel that I need to do, but I've just been working on my own personal stuff. But that's a good point. I need to get that adult beverage part 1 down. It'll probably be some kind of parody off Mom on Milk or something like that. Alright, I like that tree. And let's go with... say trees front. I think I want to add some trees here. You know what I need to do? I know what I need to do now. I don't know why I wasn't planning this out first. I just need to figure out where I want to put some trees. Ooh, smoothing is way too high. Let's go ahead and pop that down. Let's say some trees here, tree here, tree, 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 tree. I don't really want any of them super close. I made them big enough that I could, but I don't really want them there. I want them to kind of be around here, here. I want to create some peaks and valleys too, with it for sure. Should be a little bit smaller. Maybe a couple here. And let's say like 1 or 2 around here, something like that. I just want enough so it gives a little bit of forest depth, but not too much. So maybe a couple here too. Modifying emotes, nice. Time to trigger blue lit nap. I took a nap right before I did the stream. Problem with taking Benadryl is it just makes you sleepy, and then when you take Benadryl and then follow it with a 2.5 mile run, that'll usually do it. Thanks, Twahili. I had a blast making yours, by the way. Yours was a ton of fun. It was super challenging because it was those weird concepts of Raymond, Doom, and Gordon Freeman. I love all those characters. It was like, how am I gonna blend these 3 together? That was fun. That was a lot. That was an interesting challenge. That's one reason why I really like doing the Couchlings. You guys always come up with weird concepts that I never would think of on my own, and it makes it really fun on my end to be like, okay, cool, how do I take this concept of these 3 characters and put it on that template and take it to that level that it needs to be. Google, I didn't ask for your information. I didn't even say anything about your name. I should don't make me turn you off, Google. I don't know why it reacts. I didn't even say anything. I swear. I should probably make the line work a little bit closer to that. Well, how? Oh, that's not gonna be right. Yeah, that's better. Huh. Is that just all one shade? Oh, is there nothing on this part? I'm trying to get some shadows for this snow here, but I'm thinking that I didn't really add enough. The problem when you're working on white in an illustration, especially in Photoshop, and you use soft lights, it kind of causes it to be... It causes it to mess up, honestly. Google, come on, game. Not game. Come on, computer. You're not really doing much. Oh, he was trying to grab all of that. That's a problem. That's okay. I can make that work. I did not press brush. I pressed F5, which is completely different. F5 is... Did you guys did not keep my shortcuts? What the heck? I swear, Photoshop, I don't know what is wrong with it, but occasionally it's just like, oh, all your shortcuts? No, we forgot to use those. We're going to use the default again. It's like, why? I don't want you to use the default. I never want you to use the default. Okay. Nice. I'm glad you figured it out, Blue. Blue Wolf, I'm sorry. Got to be very careful and say exactly who I'm talking to, because there's another blue in here. But yeah, this stream is all about just chilling, hanging out, and and we just kind of slowly work on this piece. This is going to be a decently long stream too, because while it's mostly done, you know, I like to fiddle a lot when it's near the end. And I tend to kind of noodle, especially in this last phase. That's better. Need to get some depth with this snow, even if some of it's not seen. I just need to have more of that shadow going on, because it just feels too blank. Let's go ahead and turn you down. I'm gonna go ahead and take some chunks out this way too. Tend to not do the multi-shadow stuff, but it might work for these mountain phases. Alright, let's go ahead and turn you onto multiply, and then lower. Let's turn you on to soft light. Yeah, that's better. That's more around what I want you to be at. Okay, good. Those characters cover that up, but there needs to be more shadows here too. Let's see if I can grab... No, I can't grab that. Alright, well, just do it by hand then. Just want enough so it feels like there's a little bit of separation going on in between this. Because even if most of it's not seen, I still want the stuff that does kind of peek through the characters, because there'll be parts that I'll notice after I'm finished with the illustration. That I'll know that I'll need to kind of correct later. It always happens, especially with these big pieces. There's always going to be like one or two things that you end up missing. Which is why you often see errors in animation and stuff like that. It's because most of the time, like, you concentrate on everything else, but then you end up missing one or two little key feats here and there. Key features of the piece, just because you're so wrapped up in thinking about everything else. And same thing happens for this. Gonna add a little bit of shadow work into this icy kind of frozen river piece. Alright, I'm gonna try and remember too that I want to set the VLC thing at 30%, and I want to make sure that it's like at -42 in terms of like music mixing. I'll have to remember that as like my standard settings, because I think if I like make the sound louder on my end too, like not just from the Streamlabs OBS stuff, if I do that otherwise, yeah, it messes with it every single time. So I got to be very careful and figure out exactly how that works. When I was first setting up this monitor, I didn't even have like a DVI port for this monitor, so in terms of when I first was recording like the last 3 Couchling illustrations, I had to unplug my other monitor, and I had to plug in this monitor, which I draw on, into my HDMI port, and I'm usually used to working with 2. It was a trip to go back to 1. I was like, oh right, I don't have my reference screen. That's kind of frustrating. But luckily I got like a DVI splitter not too long after, so I was able to kind of go back to my normal workflow, which was good. Feels nice to finally be able to wake up, because not being able to do art the last couple days when I didn't have my stuff, that is the absolute pits. That was not fun at all. To not be able to do any kind of art, oh god, that was depressing. Like, yeah, I can do draw and like in my sketchbook and stuff like that, but unfortunately, like when it comes to professional work, it has to be digital, you know, or at least for me, it has to be digital. Like, that's the stuff that's gonna pull in clients, that's the stuff that's gonna get me work. And traditional's fun, but I treat traditional as like, hey, this is I'm experimenting, I'm messing around, I'm getting stuff done, or I'm doing like Occasionally I'll do traditional commissions for people, and those are fun, but at the same time, they don't add to my portfolio as much. Mostly because I don't really go to cons and stuff like that. If I went to more cons, or could get into cons, well, cons were still a thing. Cons will be a thing again for a while. When cons were a thing, I wanted to, but getting tables for that stuff can be very difficult. A lot of people tend to get grandfathered in. So for a couple years I was trying to get one, but I never really got too close. But to be honest, I never really pursued it as hard as I probably should have. You know what I'm going to need to do? I need to tone these rocks a little bit. I think they're just a little... I think I need to just put like a texture on them or something like that. And kind of darken some of this stuff up. But on other fronts, if you guys haven't watched the new DuckTales reboot and you have access to it, I think you should. That show is a lot of fun. I was watching that the past couple days. Now, I have a little bit of nostalgia for it, but because I grew up watching the original DuckTales. But I think for anybody that even hasn't seen it, I think it's a good time. I think the designs are fun, the ideas are fresh. They do a really good job of like blending in nostalgia, but still like doing good dramatic storytelling. And it feels like they carry that overall plot. It feels very similar to like how they handled Gravity Falls. In a lot of ways, especially that first season, which is a good thing. Gravity Falls is an excellent show. See ya, Wolf. I'm sorry, bud. Have fun playing Hyperlight. I was surprised Valentara's not here. They must be doing raiding or something like that. Oof, that makes it... Oh, did I not? I didn't set that as a separate layer. That would be why. That's fine. I know how to fix that. Let's go ahead and grab this. This will be normal layer. This will be a soft light. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this bad boy after I take off opacity. That's better. Let's lower this. 14's fine. I'm kind of bored with it at the moment though. I've kind of like there's no real new content right now, and I finished leveling all the jobs, so honestly I kind of want to go back and like play Final Fantasy XI, but I know that's a bad idea because I have a lot of art stuff that I have to do. So I'm kind of in the middle of like deciding what game I'm gonna play next. Part of me wants to play another like... Part of me looks at my shelf and goes, well, I've got a couple of like long-spanning games that I should finish, like Infamous Second Son, Metal Gear Solid 5, or, you know, finally play through Uncharted 4, but I just haven't found the motivation to want to play through those. I don't know. They're all really good games. I just haven't found the pull for it yet. And it's not like I'm lacking games. I have plenty of stuff to do. But part of me that's kind of hesitant. The nice thing about 14 is I can pick it up and I can drop it in an hour. No problem. Get back into art. Keep a flow. But in general, you know, I haven't expunged everything out of 14, but I just did 2 more relics. I've kind of got most of my jobs geared up. I'm pretty much set on a lot of stuff. So I'm kind of at this weird in-between point. Like, there's still stuff to do in it. Like, I could still technically find content. The game has so much content, you'll never run out. But part of me is like, man, I'm never really going to have a better time to go back into Final Fantasy XI and have fun with, like, just re-exploring that world. Like, now is kind of like this weird, perfect timing where it's like, I have a lot of free time. But the thing that's holding me back is there's a lot of projects that I'm personally working on that I'm like, if I go into this, am I going to get sucked in? And if I get sucked in, am I going to be getting art done? And if I'm not getting art done, then that's a bad thing. Like, I want to finish that book, which is kind of on hold. but I'm working on a project with my brother, so that takes up a lot of time. I'm doing these storyboards for my portfolio, and I've got a couple things for the channel. So I think, because we're ideally in California, we're probably going to be in lockdown till close to my birthday, and you know, depending on whether I have a summer job or not, which I don't even know if that's going to happen. My summer teaching position I had, I don't know if that's even going through. I may have a ton of free time on my hands, so like the next 5 months are kind of super open, so I want to at least get through these storyboards, do a bunch of stuff for the game art, but I think I'm going to end up pulling the trigger on 11 probably in a week or so. The storyboards I'll finish this week. I've already got all the ideas out. It's literally just me going through and just kind of just tongue-tied. Just kind of remaking them so they're legible, more legible. Because most of them are just scribbles in my sketchbook. But the idea is down. I have all the beats. So I'm happy with where they are at story-wise, and they're just fun little things. One is based on Hijinks, which is the book, so it's perfect because I wanted to do that anyways. And the other is based on my Demon Noir piece that I did sometime last year. I'm eventually going to do 3 sets of storyboards, each with about 150 to 100 panels each of story stuff, just so like if I apply for storyboard jobs, I have more current stuff to show off, because I can do storyboarding. I've done it a couple times. I did it while I was a GhostBot a little bit. I did a bunch of revision stuff. There, Twihili. But yeah, I just kind of have to do some updated versions for that stuff to kind of get that up and running. Alright, I know where the trees are. You know what? I'm probably going to put trees behind these things too. It's probably a good idea. And I'll just kind of mask them with a brush layer once I've got a decent amount. So let's find... The dragon's there. Is this the tree copy? Okay. Let's duplicate that. Let's create it as a regular thing. And I kind of am just going to put a bunch of these... Oh, what are you doing, computer? When it gets this big of a file, it does start to kind of go a little crazy. I really do need to upgrade my core at some point. But I've kind of not avoided it. Okay, yeah, I've avoided it. I've definitely avoided it. Avoided it like the plague. Cool trick I can do with this, if I put this on normal and then kind of just do a little bit there, I can kind of push these ones back a little bit too into the distance, because I don't want them to be super apparent. I don't want these trees to be there as super visible, but I do want them to be just enough to give some extra storytelling stuff to this. But it's been real great to finally get back into art. I can't tell you guys how, I finally felt like I think like everybody else during this whole event with everything that's going on. Because for me, a lot hasn't really changed. Like, I'm bummed out with what's going on right now. Don't get me wrong. But my personal life, like, I miss seeing my parents. But at the same time, my life doesn't really feel all that different because I'm always working on projects. And I'm kind of a recluse as it is. In general, like, I like going out occasionally to go out sketching and see my friends and stuff and visit with my family and go bouldering and stuff. I do miss that. But in general, like, I was pretty content because I just get to stay home and work on art. And that's great. Like, it's so freeing to just be like, oh, what am I going to do today? I'm going to get to work out in the morning. And then I'm going to get to draw all day and then play video games in between. Like, that's the dream. That's the dream for me. People are like, oh, what's your perfect life? Other than like the crippling anxiety that comes with the fear of what's going on, kind of this, to just get to do art all day is the dream, to work on new projects. Like I said, that animation is something that I want to do too. So I think like I said, I'm gonna probably end up pulling the trigger on 11 probably in a week or so, just because there's not much to do in 14. But there's also, I kind of like the fact that I don't have much to do in that game right now too, because that does mean I can just be like, okay, cool. That means there's no excuses. Get your work done, dude. Like, kind of like when you have homework to do. Like, I could procrastinate and I could do something else, or I could get into a massive new game, but I know that what I should be doing is this. But I also know that you need to have a balance between the two, because if you just go too much over into the always workaholic mode, that's not good either. Like, there's definitely needs to be some kind of a balance between that methodology. Like, I feel one of the best ways of going about it is probably like I don't know, it's probably like a 60-40 split. So you want to have, like, say if you work for, I typically work in chunks, other than when we're streaming. I'll work in chunks of like about, I don't know, let's say 2 hours, maybe an hour chunk, and then I'll take a break for 15 minutes, and then I'll get back into it. But then sometimes I'll work for like 2.5 hours, hey Kaiza, and then I'll take a break for like an hour. I think the main goal that with each day that I have in mind is that I at least get about 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours of work done in art, no matter what. That's always kind of at least the prototypical goal of, like, I want to have around this much done during the day. If I look back during the day, I'll go like, okay, what did I do? Cooked dinner and cooked like lunch and stuff. That was about an hour and a half total time. Showered, 30 minutes, like an hour workout. Okay, what else did I do? Okay, I played video games for around 4 hours. Yes, but how much art did I do? About 7. I'm like, okay, cool. If I get that range, then I'm solid. Obviously it changes if we're doing recording. Like yesterday we were finishing Bioshock, which that was both fun and almost excruciating to play through at the same time. I had a good time, don't get me wrong, but it's hard not spoiling the game to Chris while playing through it, because he's asking questions throughout the whole playthrough, and you guys will see, and I'm just like, I can't give you an answer. And at a certain point he gets really mad at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. If I tell you anything, it's going to ruin this for you. And that's all there is in this for you right now, is just going through and, like, seeing the game as it is. You know? And if I take that away from you, you're really gonna regret it. And it was really fun to see how he experienced that story. So yeah, we finished that. We're gonna be going on to some other games. Obviously, you guys are voting on the Couchling's Choice, so that'll be coming up soon. But in general, we've got a couple other games that we're gonna be knocking out for fun. And yeah, that's gonna be cool. It's nice to finally be done with Nier Automata. We finished that a while ago. And Bioshock's done. I'm looking forward to... Hey, Pat! Looking forward to doing some smaller games for a little bit, I'll tell you. Bioshock was nice, though. Bioshock was a clean, like... I think you guys are in for about... I think it's about 24 episodes. It's about where we ended at. And that was fun. Don't get me wrong. I was happy to go through Bioshock again. That was a cool game to replay. And I'm not going to spoil anything in here for those of you that are new to it or yada 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 and all that jazz. But that was a fun jaunt. That was a fun jaunt through memory lane, replaying that game. I forgot how difficult normal mode is, though. Jesus, that game kicks your butt in normal mode. Like, the difference between easy and normal mode in Bioshock, good lord. What the heck? That's ridiculous. Okay, let's grab... Ooh, is it this one? No. I want you, don't I? Oh, I want you. That's better. And some of this will be covered by snowstorms and stuff like that. Just enough to give some extra flavor. I think I need to make another. Where's that background? Is this there? Or is it this one? No. Group copy 30. That's what I need to grab you guys. Pull you guys to the front. I need to make a new arrangement. Could not blah 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 blah. Shut up, Photoshop. You can do everything. Let's go ahead and put that there. You feeling better, Pat? I know you weren't feeling too great for a while and I haven't got to talk to you in a bit. I hope that you're doing better. Let's go ahead and move. Let's take that one out. There we go. And let's make you a nice little trio. All I know is Bioshock will currently deal with is that the system to keep you at X amount of resource drops and an off-screen enemy's first shot will miss. Yeah, I did kind of notice that a bit too. You know, I didn't mind Pat too much, like the difficulty of Bioshock. It's harder when it's a let's play because sometimes the other person gets impatient, like, come on man, gotta push the story, and you know, we want to keep it entertaining for you guys. So sometimes it always bums me out. It happened with Devil May Cry 2 though. Like, I'm glad you're feeling better, Pat. The difficulty drop in Devil May Cry normal versus easy is so far that it's like when Chris is like, let's play easy mode, I'm like, alright man, but then there's like zero challenge. I don't mind if a game is easier. Like Darkest Dungeon, that was a good easy mode. Not too hard, not too difficult, nice like kind of easy progression. But sometimes they throw in these easy modes and you're just like, this is not. I had fun with it when I finally got to the point I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna fucking go balls to the wall, jump right in. You'll see me doing some crazy stuff. And Bioshock, and Chris is like, no, don't do that. I'm like, dude, it's easy mode. I'm not gonna die. I think I die once on easy mode or something like that, and that's just because I'm being dumb. Like the difficulty, how low it is just kind of a little bit of a bummer. Cause like, oh man, like that's how easy it. All right, okay. Guess I'll do that. But you never know until you kind of jump to it. But then I jump back to medium mode at some point, and it just kicks my butt. It's like, dude, I'm really strong right now, and this thing is just, it's hard. Like, it's a hard, difficult spec. Not like so hard that I can't beat it hard. Hard in the sense that like, oh man, this means I have to take my time and really kind of like sit around and not be able to do stuff type of hard. Or it's like, ah man, I gotta switch it to the easier difficulty because otherwise this is just, it's too slow. It'll slow down the thing, and instead of being a 20 episoder, it's gonna be, you know, a 40 episoder. And we want to get you guys more games because we've had a point now where it's like we're just not getting through as many, which is both cool, good and bad. It's good because it's like, oh cool, we're creating all this fun content for you guys, but it's bad because in the sense that, like, you know, we always want to bring in more people into the channel, and usually the way we do that is by having newer games. So it's always trying to find that kind of a balance between that, you know what I mean? That said, it was a blast playing Bioshock. That game is so rad, and it was cool to see the way Chris reacts to that game is a lot of fun. Because he kind of comes in with all the whole like, oh, I know everything, and then you kind of get to the end of the game, he's like, wait, what? Wait, that's what it's about? Like, that's this thing? What's going on? It's great. You can't just walk up to people and smack them with a wrench. I may do that for a majority of the playthrough. I do end up relying on the wrench, the Ratchet and Clank methodology of oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Go back. Undo. Let's save this bad boy. You can. It's just even on easy mode, like they just don't do any damage to you. Like nothing really hurts you. Like it's complete story mode. Like there's zero challenge. I almost wish I have no problem with there being a story mode. I think having accessibility in games for different levels of players is always a good thing. There's no negative to it in my mind. But I do think that like sometimes easy modes are too easy. It's like you should have story mode and an easy mode. You know, when there's such a giant jump in between normal and easy, you may have overdone it then. You know what I mean? You may have done it to a point that it might be a little too easy. Alright, I need to adjust this dragon. I need to adjust the color of this. Let's go ahead. Oh, is that not dark enough? Is that why I didn't have that like that before? That's better. But I think in order to match the trees, I need to have a little bit darker. And it's hard. Game design's not easy. So like I don't want to just trash on the developers. But it definitely was something that I was a little bit bummed about, and it's the same thing that bummed me out about Devil May Cry. Like, I still had fun with it, but, you know, as much as I don't play video games for a challenge, I still like a little bit of challenge. I still want there to be a little bit of, like, oh, that was somewhat difficult. Because if it's not difficult at all, it's just like, what? Alright, I could be drawing, you know? That's always difficult. I want just enough of a challenge that it's not frustrating and it's fun. Sekiro was nice though. I mean, I love that game. That game was a blast. They are really nebulous terms, Blue Lip. That is one of the bigger problems with it. So like, what's considered easy mode, what's not considered easy mode, it's a weird kind of dichotomy that goes in between all of them. So you're really just trying to find out what works and what doesn't work. You know, a lot of games end up figuring that. And games, sometimes they're not like MMOs. They don't have the chance to like redo things. Like, they don't have the way to adjust it for like easy and hard modes. Typically, like after a certain amount of time, a game is patched, it's done. It's not gonna get a new version of it. It's not gonna get a new mode type of deal. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either, you know? It's just kind of one of the caveats of game design. Like, I know there was that article on Kotaku that said easy mode's too easy for the new Final Fantasy VII, and I didn't get a chance to read that. But at first I read that article and scoffed, and then now that I think about it, like, oh, I think I get what they're saying. Like, they're like, it was too easy even for easy mode. Like, there should be a little bit of a level of difficulty with easy. There should be some level of like, it's a bit harder, you know. But I don't know. That said, like, I want accessibility for games. Like, while I don't have the issue like that a lot of people have with Sekiro, I know some people do, and it's a bummer when they can't play it because there is no easy mode. But at the same time, I also support the devs who are just like, nah, man, this is our vision for the game, and I'm like, all right, well, that's their vision for the game. That's their vision for the game. That's just what it is. Where is it? There it is. Are you gonna carve away on that? Or not? Okay, that's weird. 16. Oh, because it's set to color burn? That's why. And carve that out. But after we finish this one, it'll be a bit shorter when it comes to streams. They'll be much quicker pieces. There'll be like 1 or 2 streams, like I said. I think the next time, we'll have a little bit of a break after this is done. But I think the next thing that I'm going to end up doing is that Halloween Kid children's book idea. I'm gonna work on those because I've had those children's illustrations for a while that I've wanted to do. So it'll be shorter illustrations. They won't be as grand and as epic as these ones. They'll still be epic and they'll still be really cool, but they are going to be a different, can be a bit of a different breed. Okay, and let's do filter, blur, Gaussian, Gaussian. I'm not sure which. Every time I say it, I think I'm saying it wrong. Alright, I need to go ahead and adjust that. Is that the lines? No. Oh, you know what? That's this, isn't it? It's that. Okay. Is it here? It is. Alright, let's go ahead and grab a black brush. We're just gonna kind of go over some of those lines, just so they don't have that white blur effect. Yeah, mods can help a bit when it comes to that kind of stuff, but then that's relying on the player base, so, which isn't bad. It just can sometimes, you know, mess with it. Mess with that formula. Thanks, Pat. I'm really liking where this is going, and it's pretty much there. It's pretty much done. At a certain point, you have to kind of let a piece go and go like, all right, it's time to move on to a different. It's time to move on to another one. Okay, I have this. This needs one more. Now there still needs to be the snowstorm aspect, so like there's still a lot to add to it. But it's definitely getting there. Like, it's in that last little hurrah. What is doing that? It's not that. There it is. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this too. That's better. Okay, forests are looking good. Gotta add a couple more trees. Sorry, I'm opening a protein bar right now. Sorry if it's a little crunchy. I know Chris hates coconut, but I love it. Coconut, hazelnut, cilantro. What else does he hate? Black licorice, dots. Just make a long list of them. That being said, I'm not that much of a fan of black licorice. It is assigned blue. That's the problem. That's the problem. I did want to kind of end it symbolically on 11 or 14. Based on it. Coconut is you. Thanks, Pat. I'm glad someone likes it. With me. It was nice that I got some defenders on the powdered donut front, though. I was getting lambasted by him during the entire thing. And I was just like, I can't be the only one that likes these. There's literally a market for them. And it was happy to be proven wrong. There was a bunch of people just came to my aid. They were like, ooh, powdered donuts! Let the gang rise up. That was fun. Okay, so I think for these trees here, I need to make a new one. I need to make a new set of these guys. So let's see. Backgrounds, group 30. Let's do a duplicate because I'm going to need to make a new move. Thank you, tree. I'm gonna need to make a new set of this. Let's go ahead and grab that. Kind of bring this about. Do a soft light. And do one more. Let's make this into one tree. And let's do group another. All right. There we go. Another soft lights. And one more just to kind of bring that about. All donuts are good. And now I want a donut. Yeah, that's how I felt when we were recording. I haven't had donuts in forever. I have a weird thing though. I can't really eat donuts anymore. Not like regular donuts I get like from our local grocery store. They make me ill. I don't know what it is about them, but there's something about donuts that I can't really eat like a whole donut anymore. It just makes me sick to my stomach. But I'm curious if the powdered donuts would do the same, because they're not as maybe starchy is the word as like the other ones. Yeah, like I don't know what it is. Ever since I kind of got into shape, and it's not like a oh donuts are disgusting type. It's like no. People would bring donuts for work for like when I was teaching, and I would try and eat like I'd eat a whole donut and I just would feel sick to my stomach. I'd feel nauseous. Like it was a sugar overload or something. I really don't know. So like the most I can eat, like if someone gives me a whole donut, I'm like, give me a quarter of that donut and I'll be good. I mean, that was the main reason I stayed away from them. It's just because, you know, trying to lose weight, trying to cut, trying to get in as good a shape as I can, without being a dude bro. And yeah. Okay, cool. That merged successfully. And so did that. Awesome. Let's see. Let's have you guys around that height. And let's have you around this height. That should be good. And put you like around. It's probably gonna need to be in the front. That's a problem. I need to make this a little bit darker. If it's gonna be in the back, you're gonna need to be a shade darker. But yeah, I don't know what's I honestly don't know what it is, because it's not the sugar, because I eat mangoes and I eat other stuff that has lots of like sugar in it, but something about donuts. I don't know, maybe it's the deep fry or something like that. That are very cakey. Yeah. I don't know. I've yet to figure it out. I'm not sure what it is. It doesn't really make sense. I'd probably have to talk to a nutritionist and be like, why does my body react this way? Why does it act like the plague has entered my soul and I can't get rid of it? Like, it's the same kind of feeling you get when you're like about to, you know, hurl chunks. It's like, what is this? Why? And I don't know if it's just because I've had such a like, my diet really doesn't change that much. For the most part, I eat rice, peanut butter, mangoes, peppers, chicken. That's kind of about it. Like my diet, and like I'll have it like turkey and stuff like that occasionally, but for the most part, my diet stays pretty stable. It doesn't really vary too much. So I'm not really sure what's up with that and why it does that. But maybe that's the reason why. See, that's me too, Pat. I don't have that stuff, like, because I know I don't have self-control. Like, I think Chris got like some Rice Krispie treats and he offered them to me. I ate like 2 in one night or something like that, and then like there was just chocolate on like the little table that was kind of a free-for-all because he got like an Easter gift package from his mom. I don't have any self-control if it's in the house. If it's in the house, I'm screwed. That's why I just don't buy it. Or like when I buy ice cream, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna buy those little mini ones where it's like, oh, it's like 2 or 3, that's not bad, you know, type of deal. And they're like 200 to 300 calories. It's like, okay, cool, I'll be fine with that. But if I buy like a vat of ice cream, I have no self-control. That's the only way I could stay in shape, is I just can't buy that stuff. I don't have the self-control to like stop myself. I have the self-control at the store. I don't when it comes to being in the household. If it's within reach, I'm gonna eat it. If someone has pizza, they're like, oh, you want some? I was like, I'm not gonna say no. It's pizza. What kind of crazy person says no to free pizza? It's definitely not me. Alright, how many more trees do I need? I think I'm pretty solid. Oh, it's not on that layer. I think I'm pretty solid on some of this stuff. Because like I said, I don't want to overbear it. And I don't want any of them kind of in this front part. I just really wanted to have some in the background where it's like, oh, okay, cool. There's a decent amount there. So like if someone looks, like they can kind of see it. And this is the first time I'm really implementing some of this type of intertwine. I think I might have like a tree here, but I'm not sure. I don't want to have it overabundant type of deal. Too much of it would be a bad thing in a lot of ways. And I just kind of want to have enough to where it's like, okay, this is gonna push it back a little bit. It's gonna add some extra scenery to that. And we're gonna go ahead and take this and move it all the way just past the dragon. It should be like right around here. Nice. Giant's there. Giant's gonna need to be duplicated and kind of thrown a filter on. Yeah, he needs to be a little bit darker. A lot of this phase is just kind of going in and doing like just little soft brush layers of like adding a little bit of multiply, just like adding little bits of atmosphere to it type of deal. Alright, behind this giant, he's gonna need some kind of clouds. Let's go with complete one more. Go ahead and duplicate that. But what have you guys been up to? Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. I know I don't come into the Discord that often, and it's not because I'm avoiding you guys, it's just I usually get in a workflow. And if I go into Discord, I'll get out of it. But what are you guys playing? How are you guys keeping busy with everything that's going on? Like, what's keeping your attention, keeping you with that level of sanity we all need? Ooh, Animal Crossing? Nice. I'm not sure I believe in bad pizza, Pat. I mean, there's yet to have been a piece of pizza that I've had that I haven't liked, but then again, I've never had anchovy pizza, so maybe I would hate that. But it sounds salty and kind of crunchy, so maybe I would dig that too. I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and throw... I kind of want just a little bit of fog and snow and kind of just almost a dusty feel. Not dusty, but like kind of throw some winter winds in there. You guys can't hear the thumping from Chris's room, can you? Let me know if you can. If not, I'll tell him like to lower it. Like I can hear it, but I don't know if it's being picked up on my mic. But when we were doing D&D the other day, he's like, "Wow, you left your door open, and we can pick up everything from your mic. It's super sensitive." So if it is, let me know, and I'll go berate him. Let's see. Look at the best tasting pizzas. We had some pretty bad ones for a while. Yeah, I've never ran into pizza that I've just been like, oh, that's the worst. In general, I've had pretty good luck with pizza, I guess. Let's go ahead. Throw this in front. Oh, no. Well, let's lower that, because... Oh, no, I don't want to do fill. I want to do pass-through. That's better. Okay. I think that's good for the trees. And the characters, I think I need to do some stuff with the foreground, but other than that, oh, were those trees in front? I gotta change that. You guys gotta fucking get to the back. Yeah, that's not right. Let's go ahead and throw you guys right over the dragon. That's better. I think I need to adjust some stuff there. I'm noticing it. Other people won't, but there's something about that that's bothering me. Do I want those behind? No, I kind of want them in the foreground. This is the tricky stage. It's where it kind of gets a little bit in between. Alright, let's see. How do I want to handle that? It doesn't look bad, but there's just something about it that's bothering me. That particular is bothering me. Okay, where the heck is that at? Oh dear. Oh, hide it all until it loads. Not that. Not that. There we go. Oh, it's just not even, there's nothing even on that? Or is it just showing it up because it's... That's weird. What is that? That would be... No, it's not you. That means it's the thumping from Chris's thing. I'll text him and tell him he has to turn it down. That's coming from his room because he's in the audio room and... Yeah. Let me send him a text. On the stream. Alright. I sent him a text. He should get in a second. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger of a brush. Is it on this layer? No, it's not. That means this is somewhere. God, this is so involved. On the dragon lair? No. Let's toggle all these off. Okay, it's not even there. Where the heck is this? There it is. Okay, let's delete that, and let's turn that back on. Let me know if you still hear it, Blue. I know that you guys are a little bit behind, but from what I can tell, he lowered it. So the thumping should be gone. Go ahead and switch this to black brush. It's just he has loud buffers, so he wasn't even listening to it that loud, but like I could feel it through my headphones. And typically I don't bother him when he's listening to stuff. But I can pretty much always hear it all the time in my eardrums, which is usually why I have my noise canceling headphones on and stuff like that, so I can kind of filter it out. Where is that? Is it group 30? No. Group 37? No. But no, I'm not sure what he's listening to. Oh, is this from the... Don't move that. Is this from... Where is it? That's the only problem when it gets to be this many layers. Is this it? No. No. Alright. Ah, there we go. There you are. You're group 39. Okay, cool. What's that? Maybe that's why I don't hear it. I have tendinitis. Oh. Yeah, I usually hear the thumps and the bumps all the time. I just typically don't bother him with it. But if you're hearing it too, then that's a problem. Yeah, that's just too dark. Let's go ahead and grab some of this color. Maybe I'll just do that. I just want to add a little bit of kind of like variance to it. Okay, grab that blue. Yeah, that should be good. And I'll end up blurring some of the background elements anyways. That should be fine. Most of this is looking good. It's pretty much done. Still not there yet. One, I gotta toggle out Screeby, so I can kind of see the full picture. I think I just need to add some blizzard elements and then do some more balancing, and then it's pretty much there. Just gotta add some snow stuff to the background. We're sitting at about an hour and a half in at this point. Huh. Alright. Trees are good. I have the guys flying back. There's obviously texture stuff we'll end up doing and throwing on, but in general, it's pretty much there. Let me think. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do. I think I need to make a custom brush, honestly. So let's go new and documents. I think I need to make a custom brush for this because I don't really. This is where it's gonna be kind of experimental. I don't really particularly know what I'm gonna do for this one. I have a reference image that I'm kind of using in terms of like snowstorm and stuff like that, just of New York, but I'm not really sure how I'm gonna handle this one. So I'm gonna kind of work on making a custom brush and then going honestly from there. I'll use one of my rougher brushes because I want to kind of give. I don't want that though. Actually, let me think. Kind of want a little bit of a texture to it, so maybe, like I said, I don't really know what I don't mess with brushes too often, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this. But I know that I want variety in my streaks. Let's see. You know what? I think I'll use my Wuzzle brush. Yeah, it's more accurate to what I'm doing. That's good. And then let's add a little bit of it. Whoa, not that. Let's add a little bit of a texture to it. Or maybe I'll add this on its own. You know what? Let's try it. So brushes are what a lot of different painters and stuff use. I don't typically use them too much. Snowstorm. But I will occasionally create a brush when it's necessary. But gotta usually go not there, here. There's brush properties. You kind of have to go through and like mess with the different shape dynamics and stuff like that. Pen pressure. Let's see. Angle jitter. No angle jitter. Roundness. Definitely want scattering. Yeah, that'll help. Some of it's testing. Count. It's too much. So the count be 1. Yeah, I definitely want it to kind of vary. Come on, Photoshop. You have more than enough RAM to do this. I believe in you. Shape dynamics. Minimum diameter. Pen pressure off. I have pen pressure on. You silly goose. I don't want angle jitter. What else? That's not bad. Kind of like that actually. Let's do some spacing. Definitely not fade. This is so silly. The pen pressure is there because I'm literally using it in this document here. Like, that makes no sense. Thanks, Pat. I mean, that's one reason why I do love art, is art really just is... It's just problem solving, honestly. There's not really... You know, it's just that. It's just figuring out small problems and seeing if you can kind of find solutions. And then I'm gonna want that to be Yes, 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 I know there's no layer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that kind of looks alright. But I want to find a way to make it... turn. Size jitter, angle jitter, controls, pen tilt. Yeah, that's more like it. That's too much. Do I want it to just... That's kind of cool though, with it going all over the place. That might be a method. This might be great for just like just a couple of extra ones. Maybe I might have to do all the regular ones by hand, but huh. Angle. What if I turn the angled off? Oh, but then it follows it. Cool. That's actually exactly what I want. Let's do size jitter to be very large. Let's go ahead and delete this stuff. Delete, delete, delete. Don't need that. 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 That. I might need to put some trees over there. I don't know. Just to balance it out. But let's try and go ahead. Kind of get that snowstorm going on. I wish it had more shape. Well, that's not true. It's doing it at the beginning. I just need to kind of will my wisps around while I'm doing it. Sorry, I haven't been checking chat too much. My bad. Just trying to figure this one out. Yeah, I kind of like that. Alright, I need to... Okay, I need to separate some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and put this in the way back. Let's go ahead and set it to soft. I'm gonna kind of then let's do one layer where it's just duplicated. And then filter, blur, Gaussian. Just erase some of it, because it's going to be built up in layers. Yeah. So let's see. Giants there. Background, foreground 2. Which one is this? Okay, that's that. So I need to separate this into... Okay. Alright, I think I'm just trying to figure out where everything's at. Okay, that's my middle ground, but is it missing some stuff? That's my far ground. What's not being grabbed? Those trees are not being grabbed, which means they are not part of the right group. So this is going to come in handy because I'm going to be doing optical stuff with it in terms of lens blurs and stuff like that. So I need to have these things separated. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm probably going to save it as a new version too, just in case it's kind of gotten to that point where it needs to be. I'm going to let this kind of hover for a second and let it go about where it needs to be. But yeah, we're definitely finishing this one today. It's probably only going to take about another hour to get this done and call it good. Because it's one of those things, like, you can noodle on a piece forever, but at the same time, you gotta learn to let pieces go. And this is definitely getting to that point where it's like, alright, you need to let this one go so you can send this commission off and start posting it too, because I'm really proud of this piece. There's a lot that I wish I could improve upon, but there's also a lot about it that I still really, really like. It's really good in terms of the way that it interacts with the characters and other elements of that nature. What is even on this layer? I'm always just trying to find that next new way of upping the piece to that level where I want it to be. Okay, let's title this Middle Ground. I legitimately do not see where this is taking stuff. Oh, it's that. Okay. Okay. Foreground, 2 characters. Yeah, you know what? I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I really like a lot of these elements. I think before we completely move on, I do need to take some of these trees and just add a couple of them to that backside. Just in one kind of final hurrah. But I'm super happy you guys have stuck with me on this. Like I said, it'll probably be about a week. Maybe a week or two. Probably about a week before I kind of get back into doing streams again. Just kind of depends on what's going on. But I definitely want to do some of those, like I said, children's storybook stuff. And kind of do some smaller, more concise streams. Because I really enjoy doing this with you guys. But I can't do it when I'm doing storyboarding. Because I can't focus. Like, storyboarding takes up, like, my entire mind. With, like, no thoughts to spare. But luckily, I should be done with that. Probably, I should be done with the first 2 set of boards by the end of this week. I don't plan on making it take too longer than that. Okay, let's change this brush. I'm going to show you guys, though, once it's done, though. Pretty proud of the little hodgepodge story I kind of came up with. It's fun. Storyboarding is a blast. Mostly because it's super rough. You're not really trying to be super concise. Not concise. You're not trying to be super illustrative. You're just trying to get out the idea of what the story's about, and that's a lot of fun. I think I just want this. Like, not a ton of trees. Just literally, like, just enough to balance that other side. And let's go ahead and hit multiply. Just like that. Just around there. And then I'll take these 2, and then I'm going to throw them. Can't do that. They got to be above that layer. But I got to take, oh, not my snow brush. That is good, though. Need to do, yeah, just something like this. Ooh, and that brings out that a bit. That's cool. I didn't think about that. And now you're lagging. Fine, I see how it is. Movie trees like Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was a hard one to not go back into for reals and for trues. I loved playing Animal Crossing on the GameCube. That was my jam. But it's kind of like the reason why I'm kind of avoiding replaying Final Fantasy XI. There's so much I want to do that's art-wise, and this is like the perfect time because I'm never going to have... Well, that's not true. I'm never going to have, in few months, a better time to get projects done that I've always wanted to get done, but I've never had the exuberant amount of free time that I have now. And it makes me super excited. And having that week where I just couldn't do really anything in terms of art stuff has really just fueled me to the point it's like, oh man, there's so many projects. There's so many projects I cannot wait to just tackle and just get in there on. Like, I'm super excited for some of that stuff I have. Oh, did it not save my presets? You son of a birch. Oh, you turned off all my shape dynamics. Shape dynamics, scattering, dual brush. How could you? We were at the perfect spot. Well, pen pressure's back. That's a positive. Angle jitter, pen tilt. Now I gotta do scattering again. You know, and on it, you know what? This might actually make it better. You know, once it loads. Nope, it's not good. Oh my god. Oh my god, stop computing. Yeah, delete that layer. Just gonna hit save one more time. That's a good thing though, Pat. There's nothing wrong with people going into there. And it's a great franchise to do, to jump in on. But that was just part of it. I'm like, oh, I really need to not. As much as I want to, I really need to not do that. Okay, I like that it's going on both axes. Minimum dynamic. Size jitter's good. Pen pressure. Angle jitter, no. Roundness jitter. Scattering. Transfer. Yeah, let's have an opacity jitter. I like that. But I need to. Was it dual brush? Is that what's gonna set it apart? Yeah, dual brush seems to really bring out that extra level of what I'm looking for. Let's get some more spacing. Close. Yeah, I like how rough that is. But I want to have more pen pressure. That's not bad. Let's go with scattering, shape dynamics, pen tilt. No, I don't want any tilt. I just want... maybe rotational? Initial direction. No. A lot of this stuff... oh, maybe this is it. Kind of. Not entirely. I'm almost there on this. Almost figured it out. A little bit more scattering. Control. Say pen tilt. Oh, what if I make... what if I just make them all rotational? No, that does not do it. Let's do pen pressure. I think that's as close as I'm gonna get it. So let's go ahead and save new brush presets, include tool settings, include color, snowstorm 1. Alright. And we're just gonna kinda needs to be much smaller. All right. Bring that in. Oh, way too big. Maybe I'll make the scattering a bit more. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I'm looking for. Because this isn't gonna dominate everything, but it's just supposed to give like a little bit of texture, so it's like, oh, okay. I just gotta remember to make it more concentrated in certain spots. And I'll have to go through and do like additional ones that aren't this kind of textured version, but in general it's kind of keeping that flow, so that's what I'm looking for. And ideally, once it's all said and done, it's gonna give off a really cool look to it. Oh, a quick stretch. Oh, hey Valentar, good to see you. I was wondering where you're at. Thank you for subscribing. No worries, I figured you were busy doing raiding or something like that. You'll just get to see the coolness when it's all said and done. Alright, let's go ahead and do... Can I tilt my... Oh, that's weird. I guess I gotta do it from one angle. That's okay. That's okay. I can make that work. Once it loads. You done freezing Photoshop? You done? You good? You a good boy? No, you're not. You're not a good boy. You're the worst boy. Can I move yet? There we go. Close that. I don't need this document anymore. Close. No. Alright. That's the only problem when you work in files that are this size. You run into this problem far too many times. And just start creating some kind of back and forth stuff. Wow, you were really gonna be chugging. I had to use a style brush. Well, it's part of the problem that when you're working in a file this big, so it just needs to render it. So because I'm using a custom brush and I'm using a lot of presets and I'm working in a really big file, unless I have a better computer, it's just going to kind of chug-a-lug. But that's okay. Once it kind of starts getting used to it, it'll start picking up again. But this is kind of like my texture phase anyways, so it's gonna be a little bit slow. This is at the point where it's like, oh my god, there's so much stuff in, there's so many layers, why would you do this? Photoshop's not meant to handle it like this. And I'm a goofball. So I say you should. But I only have an i5 in this computer, so that's part of the problem. But like I said, most of this is pretty much done. I need to swap that stuff around though. That's not really, because the way I made this brush, apparently it only does it from one angle, which is kind of weird. I wish it would flip, but That's okay. Come on. Do. Waiting. There we go. Nice. Let's throw in some tiny ones. Alright, soft light. And then filter, blur. That'll work. Now I'm going to need to go ahead and add on this top layer. Now that we have the characters here, I'm gonna need one more of my special brush, and then I'm gonna have to go in and add some unique ones, I think. Oh god. Did you not? There we go. Can I figure out how to make that do the thing that I want? Size, jitter, pen tilt. Let's try this. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what I want. Just kind of kicking up a little bit in this front. I'm gonna have to go through and do some other things here and there. Definitely some color blurs and filtering and stuff like that. Might do some of that off camera, just because that's not going to be as interesting. But I might do it on camera too. It just depends on how long this ends up taking. There we go. And then filter, blur. Definitely feels more snowy. Okay. We've got Azale there. We've got the baddies there, which means we need to go ahead and take a brush and start going through just a little bit, ever so much, kind of going over and lightening them up just a bit. This layer is not going to be as much, but I want to make them feel like they're pushed back into space a bit more. But I'm also noticing that some of my effects I am going to have to turn down ever so slightly. But there are cool things I can do, like just grabbing some of this, pulling them out a little bit more. The point is we want to see them, but I also want them kind of hidden by the snow. But there are points where like it's too much of the snow. So it's kind of going through, like I'm liking the overall feel. It's feeling good. I think now it's just kind of, you're just kind of picking and pulling certain spots. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to turn this one off. That off, that off. And we're going to do some trickery. Copy merged. And do a lens blur. Bring that. So lens blur is just something that kind of gives a little bit of a grain effect. It's focal distance stuff. And I always add a little bit to my pieces. I'm gonna have to make, I usually add a bit more, but because of the way this one is going to be, it's going to have a little bit of, it's gonna have a lot of layering. So I'm gonna have to make sure not to overdo it. And I'll usually open that up a little bit and then just have a little bit of a boost. And then here again, copy merged, filter. Now is this Photoshop messing with me? No, that's literally, what is that? Okay, no. It goes all the way to the edge. That's just Photoshop. Alright, pull this up. And we're going to do filter, lens blur it again. Same stuff. And this just kind of gives, this kind of gives it a little bit of pop. I learned this trick by another artist a long time ago, but I'm trying to remember. I kind of put the lens blur from one artist and then I kind of took it on for myself, but it's just adding a little bit of noise. And sometimes I'll make them as soft lights, but then other times it's just enough so it kind of dulls the background just a little bit and pushes it back into space. And I'll have different filtering layers and stuff like that too. Like I might take a little bit of purple and then we go ahead and make a new layer. Yeah, there we go. Pen light is usually a nice way of just kind of not dulling the background, but just pushing it back ever so slightly. And I want to give that snowy effect. Maybe I need to duplicate this one more time. Yeah, it's just a lot of refinement stuff. And that's just kind of how this layering stuff goes. This is one of the more forefront, so it's not going to get as much, but then once I have all this, still do one more pass at lens blur. Let's make the focal distance a little bit more. And let's go ahead and up that brightness just a little bit. Kind of overdoing this one a little bit. But there is a good reason for that too. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that. I'm going to do filter, blur, I Gaussian blur this one. I'm going to go ahead and go, oops, we'll go adjustments, hue and saturation, up that a little bit, and then sometimes I'll kind of just angle the colors and shift them a little bit, and sometimes this will help bring out, especially once I filter it into something else, it just brings out the colors just a little bit more, just makes it a little bit more vibrant. Like, I really like what it did now to that dragon in the background, and that's the same idea. Like, it just adds a little bit of extra on top of it. And with this, and sometimes I can overdo it. Sometimes I need to step it back a bit. So I think I need to do one more of these passes, but I need to take out, yeah, that's what I need to do. All right, let's go ahead and do copy. And then this one I think is going to keep a simple Gaussian blur. And I'm going to kind of erase little parts that I want to be more in focus. And then same thing, probably do another layer of this, but I'm going to keep that above it, and then probably change this to, see what it looks at pin light. Now, it'll occasionally do stuff like this where it makes it way too much. Pin light is a very useful filter, but it is also a filter that can go badly very quickly. But there's something about the way it changes the color palettes that I like. But now already it's like, bam! Azael is right in the forefront, and he is just there. And we've kind of got those Garleans, and they've kind of got pushed back a little bit. And there's still going to need to be a little bit more. I think specifically here, I want to go ahead and grab another soft brush. And there's just something about that sword that I just want to push back just a little bit. There we go. And then turn on the snow. And that is killing it. That's pretty sweet. There's still some things to tweak though, but we're pretty much there. We're getting to that end point. Because I want Azael to pop. I want it to feel like a cell, like a piece of cell artwork or something like that you get for old animated films. I want him to really just boom. But then when you look more into the background, I always want there to be extra layers to my pieces. Like, I want you to like notice what I want you to notice. I want there always to be a central focal point. But I want you then to like your eye to carry you around the piece and just be like, oh, cool. There's that thing in the background. Oh, there's that. It's like, oh man, there's so much going on. This is nuts. That's always kind of like, I'm always wanting to get that extra level out of it. That extra oomph, if you will. So I'm thinking for here, even though I've got that, and I treat that even with like the couchlings and stuff like that. It's the same idea, you know. I always want there to be that extra level of detail. Chris does it when he's doing the audio stuff, and for me, it's definitely when I'm doing my art. But something I talked about way back when we were first doing this piece is confidence. I always know that the piece is going to get to a level that I'm going to like. But, you know, you just have to keep on plugging away. And I think that's one of the hardest things for younger artists is just that confidence is something that comes over time, and it's not something that's super easily achieved. So I think one of the reasons why a lot of people stop doing art is just because of that. Like, they just don't think they're ever going to get to that level where it's like, oh no, I don't know if I could ever be at the level of confidence like that. And it's not to say I'm special or anything like that, but I think that's one of the hardest things for younger artists to really get a handle on. is just how much of it is, it's just confidence. And you just gotta kind of build that up over time, and eventually you will get to the point where it's like, nope, I know this is going to be what I want it to be. I just need to keep on plugging away and trust that I can get to that point. And just know that, you know, there's going to be mistakes and you're going to have to change things. Just like everything in life. I think not being able to teach is getting to me. Alright, so I don't need that. Ow. Do I need more trees? No, I don't want to have any trees right there. I don't want to have that. Okay, let's do some small frontal snowflakes. Small snow. Confidence and persistence. That is the truth. What are we looking at? 2 hours now? Yeah, we got like a half an hour probably left working on this. This is just, I don't have much of a rhyme or reason when I'm doing these kind of snowflakes. I'm just kind of going, honestly. I don't even know if I'm gonna like what I'm doing. I just know that I need some in this foreground. Or it's gonna feel kind of barren. And the texture brush is great. But I think at a certain point you just need to have these little extra ones here and there, where it's just the artist kind of going around like, where is this gonna work? Where is this not gonna work? And I might put these, I don't want to keep them pure white because I think that's too much, but doing the whole piece like this would just take way too long. And it is a point of attrition too, where it's like, it's not really selling the piece. There we go. And bring that there. Alright, let's try and lower this. Yeah, I like that, but I think I need to just delete some of these. I think it's definitely going to be less is more. And then let's go ahead and filter, blur. Kind of going around and just, some of these I won't like, some of these I will like. I just want to make sure that there are some that's kind of in front of that character, but then at the same time it's like I don't want it to be taken away from that either. That's good. I think I need to adjust the, let's see, Garlean Soldier. Where's his line work? Is this his lines? No, that's an afterglow. That's that. Those are his lines. Okay. Let's put that back behind. Let's go ahead and go adjustments hue and saturation. Yeah, black might just be the way to go. I think it still brings them to the forefront, but I think I just need to do some things like I did with the other previous stuff. I just need to add some snow. Some kind of snow fuzzles. Yeah. That's definitely it. That's what I needed to add. I'm going to lower it just a little bit because I'm going to do a little bit more in the front as well. Where is that back? Is this from that? No. Is that? No. Where are you? Oh, that's in front. Okay, where? Is it this? No. Here. Yes. Perfect. If we change you to overlay. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Okay, a little bit less. A little bit more here. Going to be toned down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I've occasionally, like, I'm having a hard time to find time to really honestly do anything other than drawing. I've checked out a couple of them, but honestly, I just between recording, if I'm not doing art, I'm pretty much recording, or occasionally trying to catch up on a show. But I am going to try and catch up on those webcomics again. Yeah, I always find myself working on some new thing. I do appreciate all those, all the ones that you gave me, though. Okay, I think now above here, let's go ahead. Like, I'd love to, I need to read more graphic novels too. I just always find myself like too busy to do probably anything, honestly. Not that, I don't want that right there. Alright, let's go ahead and grab all of this. Copy merged. Filter, blur, lens blur. And I just want this to be a super light one. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Feel free to, if you find really good ones with good art, go ahead and send them to me. I'm always down for looking at new art, even if I can't read all the webcomics. Typically, one of the only webcomics I end up reading half the time, God, like Shen's comics and stuff like that, or Rob Botto. Just like the quick short ones where they're like just goofy, like one-off stuff. I would love to get into longer webcomics though. plant. Pow. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm at a texture. And do this. Like, I downloaded Comixology. And I was almost paying for that too, because like, I need to read more comics. And that did not... Amazon was being weird and funky and wouldn't let me link my account, so I was like, alright, fine. No webcomics for Sam then. I see how it is. I guess I'm just gonna have to wait for this to load up, so have fun with this weird, terrible abomination of this thing. I like Comixology because, one, it's through Amazon. Two, no, it's through Amazon. And it has all the different, has Marvel, has Image, has all the different publishers. So you don't have to go scrounging around to like, oh, use the Marvel one or use the DC one. It's like, nope, it's for everything. So I can find all the comics I want off of it. I find that really useful. Alright. Because this file is so big now, I have to be extra careful to not crash this program. So I'm gonna cautiously hit save while it's going and see how that's done. See how that works. Save it, please, oh Photoshop gods. Yes. It does look like a totally different piece now. Especially with this weird fuzzy blurry layer. But once it saves, I'll feel good about kind of messing around with it again. Okay, 79, 82, done. Alright, and soft light. That's what I was hoping for. Nice. And then probably one more layer of like filtering and stuff like that, and then this thing is done, guys. Let's lower that to like 7%. I don't like what that does to the gold, but let me do this. Adjustments, hue and saturation. Let's colorize it. Let's pump it up. What if we make it like... because it dulls the gold too much. Sometimes pen light works. Sometimes it doesn't. You never really know until you try. And then go here. And let's get a little bit of more of this. There we go. You know what? I think we're done. I think that's good. Giant looks good. We got some nice trees. Garlean's reacting. Hazael's in the forefront. but still pushed back so he feels like he's a part of the piece. Accomplished a lot of different things with this one. I think we're pretty much, yeah, I'll go ahead and toggle with some layers really quick just to see if I want to have sometimes you'll do these extra layers in the background, and sometimes you'll find you need one less layer, but I don't know, I think that's good. Like, I wish this wasn't so dark right here, but at the same time I like that it pops. So time for the pièce de la résistance. Not that. Let's go ahead and do my signature. And the year is 2020. My initials are S and F. And yeah. It's only missing Screeby. That's right, we can do Screeby in the background. Let's go ahead and we'll add that as a separate. But in terms of this illustration, this is done. I think this is good to go. I think we have finished that. So let's hit save on that, and then let's do Screeby in the background. Let's do a new file, and Screeby will just pop it out. Custom. I've got to find Screeby too. I don't know where he is. I might have to open a different Photoshop file to find that guy. I'll open up version 3. He'll be in the background on that one. Yeah, that turned out really good. That was a super fun piece to work on. I don't really see any issues. I'm sure I will see an issue at some point. Like, there'll be something that I missed, because it always happens when it's pieces that are this big. But it's, I don't see anything else. It seems like it's pretty much there. God, that was a fun piece to do. Learned a lot with that piece. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me and sticking around with all these different things. There's the Screeby. And to think this is where we were a while ago. Let's do it again! No. Let's throw in Screeby here. Alright. Let's go ahead and throw this guy down. I'm going to put on my Wuzzle brush. Let's go ahead and up the smoothing. Whoop. Oop, gotta change that brush size. Much love for the Screeby. Can't forget this little guy. He's been with us the whole time. And I need you. There we go. Gotta remember to capture his majesty too. He is a majestic bee after all. Get that curly mustachio. Gonna go ahead and take that. Copy. And where is it? Transform, horizontal. bring that up over there. Sir Screeby. That's too big of a brush. Let's go ahead and throw it like around there. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a nice little thick and thin line going on. Get his little cute fangs in there. Little tongue action. I think I need to make his eyes more angular. Yeah, that's funnier. Much better, much better, much funnier. Cute little vampire fangs. Don't forget his hat. Let's turn up the smoothing. This is literally me when I'm doing line work. It's just like, oh, nope, 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 nope. Get his little wingies, wingadingies. And obviously he has to be mad. Let's give him like a little tiger kind of stripe right here. Nice. And pull that in. There we go. Neat. Cool. Erase that. Nice. Cool. Gotta make sure this wraps around. Cool. Line work is done. Oh, let's go to a different eraser though. That's better. Turn that off. Nice. Okay. You? Wingdingers. Okay, cool. He's there. Let's go ahead and give him some color. I think I'm gonna make him a frosty little blue bee. He should be yellow, but I don't know. I feel like he should be frosty because we've been doing like it all be wintry. He's been hanging out in the snow too much. Ooh. A wintertime bumblebee. And let's go ahead. Give him a little purple inside for his mouthicle. He is a vampire bee, so you know, like, he's got those little fangs, so ferocious. There we go. And then let's give him a tongue. Let's go with that color. That should be fun. And then we got to give him his mustache. A little bit of a blue. Just for a little bit of highlight. Kind of like how Batman's cape is black but has that little blue tint to it in the old Batman the Animated Series. Every time I do something with like that's, you know, heavy blacks, I go ahead and usually add like a little tint of color to it. It really helps pop it out. And then keep his hat though. Very much this dark kind of color here. And we'll give it a little highlight though. A little bit of a highlight. Ooh. Nice. He's coming to life. He's looking like a real bee now. Keep his stinger nice and clear. We're gonna go ahead and add some color to these lines. And give him a blue tint. Nice, nice. Ooh. Scree. B. Take these together. I wonder if I should give him like an aura or something. Thanks, Pat. Let's filter. It's nice to work on this file now because this one is just like, oh, this is fine. You can do whatever you want. Got all the data in the world. There's like no moving parts for this one. This one's great. Give it a little bit of a blur layer. Let's do one more. Make sure that this is like that. Filter. Because this is going to be a mode, I don't want it to break the boundaries. Nice. And then I think I will give him a little bit of an aura. So let's go with FX stroke. Oh, perfect. It's showing me one of my errors. That's what I need to see. And then go in here. Is it here? No, it's on this. Really? Okay, cool. Occasionally you'll have to make sure you turn on like different layers to make sure that different colored backgrounds to make sure you're not accidentally having little goof ups like that. Because you don't want to have that stuff there. It's easier to hide in the bigger pieces, but in these smaller ones, gotta be really careful. Chris notices all that stuff too. So the last thing I want to have him hear from him is like, oh, you did a really good job, but you forgot this. It's like, ah, crap. He's right. He's not wrong. Forgot something. Like, let's add a little bit of a shadow to this stuff. There we go. And soft lights. There we go. Make sure I fill this in. Perfect. Back to the white background. Let's delete that. This is looking good. And then we're going to go ahead and add stroke. Perfect. Oh, there's something all the way over there. Interesting. Okay, well, I know how to fix that. This, and then this. Cool, we're only at 2 hours and 45 minutes. Perfect. Delete, duplicate. Nice, it's all gone. FX, stroke. Oh wow, you're still there. What is causing you, friend? What woke up you from your little nap? Bring that about. Cancel that. We're not done yet with Screepy. Okay, now I'm confused. Huh. Weird. Why is it doing that little dot? Oh well, no matter. I'll take care of it in post. Erase, 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 and erase. Should be gone. Anyways, rasterize layer style. Keep this all here. Let's make this big. Let's duplicate it once. Let's go ahead and do filter, blur, Gaussian. And then we're just going to lower its opacity a little bit, and we're going to brighten up a little over here. Should we have the words scree on there as well? What do you guys think? Yeah, that dot won't leave. I don't know what's wrong with it. Looks like a ghost Biora. Yeah, I kind of like that. We probably need the word scree in there. But we do have the other one where it doesn't say scree. Well, just for posterity. Cool. Let's put you like that. And then I'm going to need to make the E something I can put on a separate layer. Nope. I think if it's when it's on Twitch, it'll have to be... I won't be able to make it fit like that. But I think we'll be able to have this somewhere, and we'll post it right up after. And then just duplicate that once. Filter, blur, image adjustment, hue and saturation. Bit of an overlay. And there you have it. We have our Scree-a-bee. So, like I was saying to everybody, for those of you that are watching on the VOD, for those of that who are here with me, Pat and Blue Lip, and everyone else who joined us today on the stream, thank you so much. I had a blast working on this. There will be more art streams in the future. There will be more Scree-bee. He will come for a reckoning. But this has been fun. This turned out really good. Super proud of it. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for sticking around for this 11-part series. I will catch you all later. I still never figured out the credits. I don't even know what I'm gonna have to click right now. But yeah, this is this was that stream. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for everything. We will see you guys later. We will see you in the future. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Call your family members. Be good to each other. Love you guys. Beep. Bop. Boop.